Other quarterback stuff going on. We caught, me and Cal here, we're listening to you, Super Bowl week. We caught a little like Matthew Stafford, good fit to Pittsburgh. What's the energy there? That would be an insane trade.
That to me feels like the best pairing. If he's going to move on, if the Rams are going to move on, we've talked about this with the Steelers for a while. They make all of these smart kind of marginal bets. That's what Russell Wilson was. If you can pay a quarterback $1 million, Russell Wilson was better than $1 million worth of quarterback last year. But by making all these kind of smaller marginal bets, they never really go that far. Like even if you total them all up, it's really incremental. I think they need to do something that feels a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more drastic to try to get the most out of this version of the roster. Either you have to break up this version of the roster by trading a TJ Watt or somebody like that to reset what you are as a franchise, or you have to do enough at quarterback to try to maximize this for one last run. And there aren't that many guys that I think you could talk yourself into fulfilling that second path. But I think Matthew Stafford, even at this stage of his career, would be a worthwhile swing for a team that's in the position that the Steelers are in.
They have 14th most cap space, just under $41 million. That's per over the cap. I would love to see Stafford and Kupp be like a package deal. What about that to Pittsburgh? What do you think?
From a football level, I actually think that does make a lot of sense.
Really?
Because they don't really have somebody that has Cooper Kupp's skill set. Think about the receivers that they have on that team. You got George Pickens, you have a vertical threat in Calvin Austin. They don't really have like an underneath slot option. So in a perfect world, if money doesn't matter and draft resources didn't matter, I would actually love to see that. Whether the Steelers could pull that off, I think is a different question.
I'm not a draft girly. I literally am a tabula rasa, blank slate, don't know anything yet, don't know about the combine, but I've understood this is not the quarterback draft class.
That's my understanding as well. And you and I are in the same boat when it comes to the draft.
You, me, and Chris Collinsworth. Chris was like, I got, we're just trying, we're so good at NFL stuff that we just sort of, we have to compartmentalize. But it feels like, and because you have to think, like, what do the Steelers want to do? Do they want to find their rookie? It doesn't seem like it, because we're hearing that they were even looking at Trevor Lawrence this morning, right? Like, they're going to trade.
This does not seem like the draft to be looking for those guys. And I'm in the same place as you are. Like, I'm open about it. I have not. We did our top. I did a show with Dane Brugler, who does the draft better than anybody, in my opinion. I did the show with Dane today to break down his latest top 100 on The Athletic. And as I was reading through the top 100, that was my introduction to like 2/3 of the players on that list. Those names had never crossed my desk before. So I'm coming into this very much in the same way that you are. And in talking to him about the quarterbacks, it was funny watching the movement he had with some other players after his last big board in November. The quarterbacks did not move. And I think that was really telling. I think he's trying to prevent himself from talking himself into these guys. Oh, if you squint, maybe he is a top 10 pick. I just don't think he wants to do that with this group because they're not worth doing that for. And the Steelers, there's probably a little bit of scar tissue from the last time they did this. The last quarterback draft that felt like this was the Kenny Pickett draft. They took a guy in the 20s that maybe wasn't worth taking in the first round because there weren't any other options, and look how that turned out for them. So I think that's another one of those marginal moves that probably won't move the needle for a team that desperately needs to move the needle at that position.
And is Stafford enough is the question. They get Stafford. I don't know. That's why I've kind of threw the Kupp in there, because I do think that they need more than just a quarterback. They've got plenty of holes to fill, especially in that division.